Hi, welcome to Popcorn, the email marketing system that automatically qualifies your prospects for you. It does this by tracking their online behavior across emails, websites, and social media. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how the system works and show you how you can create your first campaign. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is click the login button just up here. My details are automatically saved, but you'll need to type yours in, so we'll click the login button now. The first thing you'll see is the main dashboard. It's a great place to start because it has all your latest statistics and recent activity in one place with lots of shortcuts in there. If you ever want to get back to this spot or you want to refresh the data within the dashboard, simply click this button up here, the dashboard button, and it'll take you straight back into there. Now, before we get started, the one thing we need to do is we need to be able to insert a piece of tracking code onto your website so we can see exactly when your prospects are coming out there and what they're looking at. So to do that, we click this button here, the Get Website Tracking Code button. That'll open a page with the code on, and it's very much like inserting a piece of Google Analytics code into your site. So if you're not sure how to do that, click up here to the FAQ and tips section, and in there you'll be able to get some more information on that, or just send it over to your web developer and they should be able to do it for you very quickly. Now, before we move on to creating a campaign, a couple of other things to note on here is this section here, the reminders section. It's a lovely little tool. If you've ever been working and you think, well, I really must remember to send somebody an email, you can go up to this blue button here, and that'll pop a window up onto your screen where you can type a note or a comment into there and hit save. Those notes and comments will appear in this window here in chronological order, so you've always got some details to follow up, and you can see what you're doing with those. The next section here is used predominantly by our users when they've started sending campaigns out. This is a live window that shows all your prospects for you. So as you can see, they've been broken down into hot, warm, cool, and recent prospects for you. And any of these bars, whether it's here or down here, can be clicked on, so give a table of exactly who makes those up. Once you've got that table, then you can then click into individual contacts to see exactly what activities they've been doing. So if you want to pick the phone up and phone somebody up, you can see which website pages they've been visiting, how many times they've opened your emails, so you've got an idea of what to talk about when you're actually speaking to that prospect for you. And on top of that, all that information can then be exported here into an Excel spreadsheet, so you can take that into your CRM systems, or you can use it in whichever way you want to use it. So now let's get started on creating your first campaign. So we click the new button down here in recent campaigns, and that will take us through to this window. So let's call our first campaign test, and here we go, click next. The campaign folder is where you can manage everything to do with your campaign. So whether that's creating a new email, which you can do here, through to adding or importing different contacts within the folder, or whether it's to do with any of these extra bits here, which I won't go into detail at the moment because I want to focus just on being able to create and send your first email. There's this section here then, which is where you can manage all the sending side of it, so it'll keep a list of all the emails that have been sent, and you can schedule new ones. And then here, we're looking at an area which gives us all basic statistics for what this campaign's doing and how it's performing. Again, as with your dashboard, you can click on any of these to be able to drill down specific information within that. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to create an email. So if we click the new button here. Okay, so now we're in the actual email editor itself. You can see that the screen's made up of three separate sections. The first one is just here. This is the personal details section. So this is where your name, your email address is all put in. That's automatically populated from your account settings up here. If you want to use a separate reply address for your emails, you can click this button here and it'll give you one there, although I have to admit we tend not to recommend that, as that will reduce your deliverability rates. So the next section here, which is your subject line, so if I just type in test email, so we've got a subject in there. If you're producing several emails with the same subject line, we've got an option for you to put a reference name in there, so when you're inside the campaign manager you can identify them as different emails. So that's what that option is there. The next section here is the email editor itself, and it's very simple, works very much like you would type a normal email. So if I just drop something in there, you can see I highlight it, and I can change the fonts to be whatever I want them to be. So let's call it an Arial 11. The next thing, which is quite handy, is the personalization. So if you click this little P button here, you can see a pop-up appears, and you've got options to insert any of these things here. So I'm going to select first name, but you can also see that there's up to 10 customizable fields, all which are related within the CRM system in Popcorn. So you can update those to be personalized to whatever you like. So click OK, that's in there. Let's put a new line in, and if we want to insert an image, it's quite easy. Click the image button, browse the server so we can find where the images are actually stored. There's nothing up there that I want to use at the moment, so this is where we upload it. So I'll click the upload button, add files, and then this is on my local computer, so if I select, I'd like one of these images put on there. So it's uploaded into the system. I double click it, and that's inserted. I want to right align it. OK, and that's inserted into the picture. You can see down here, this section here is your unsubscribe. We automatically put that into the bottom of every single email, and it allows when your prospects, when you send them to them, for them to be able to manage their subscriptions. They can drop in and out of lists if they like, and that is a legal requirement for you. So down here is the third section, which covers the saving options or the previewing. So down here you've got the use custom plain text. So as standard, the system will produce a plain text version of the email. So if the system you're sending to doesn't receive HTML emails, it will automatically convert that. So there's an option there for you to edit that, but I recommend leaving that set as standard. This box here tells the system that you're setting up an autoresponder, which I don't want to go into the detail at the moment. I'll explain in a later video, but that you need to tick that if you're creating an autoresponder. These are then your saving options. So you've got save, which saves the file and then takes you back to the campaign manager. Save and check. This gives you a spam check within the system. So if we click that now, you'll see in a second we get a little pop-up window, and this looks at your whole email and identifies any potential issues you might have. So it gives you an overview of your score. So in here, it's got a few things thrown up here, which is basically because I've just done a quick email for you. There's not much text in there, so it's thrown up a few flags. It hasn't identified any spam words within there, nor any personalization issues. So when I've put the personalization such as "Hi Simon," none of that text has been damaged whilst we've been typing. So it just checks that for your peace of mind, and it also checks links. So if you put links to images or any website links, it'll check to make sure all of those are working. So green ticks all the way along is always very good. So that's that done. The next section down here is save and send a preview. So we can click a button there. Pops a window up, and so you can send that to yourself or any of your colleagues just to check to make sure that it's looking right for you. The next section is view preview. This saves it again, and it shows it on screen how it should display for you. So it's just a quick way of viewing the sender one. And then here is delete. So if you don't want the email anymore, you can just click the delete button and it will get rid of it. But be aware that when it's deleted, it is gone. And then of course there's cancel. The final thing on this page to note is use templates. This is where you can click, and if you want to insert any system templates, so any images that have already been set up there for you, you can click that and it'll create the email automatically for you. So, and again, don't forget, if you're ever not sure what to do, click on the FAQs and there'll always be some helpful hints and advice in there. So if we click save. Okay, so now we're back in the campaign manager and we can see our emails are listed out here. We can see them all there. We can copy and we can edit using these buttons. The next thing we need to be able to do is to be able to add some contacts to the folder. So if you're assuming you haven't imported anything, click on the add or import contacts to the system. So you can either click the import data button, which will give you a template to download, and that you can import that then via a simple Excel spreadsheet. The other option is to manually type a contact in, and you can go through there, type all the information in there. Categories are a brilliant one to put in there, so you can call things whatever you like. Just the more categories you put in, the easier it is to search from this search bar up here, but just separate everything with a comma. As you can see, some of the ones we've typed in here previously. So let's assume we've done that, and if we go back, we're back on this screen again. We've added the contacts to the system. We click edit. This then we need to create a list within the folder. So let's call this the test list. Oh, can't type. Okay, and we create that. This associates contacts with the actual campaign folder. So once they're in there, you don't need to keep adding lists or removing people. They're in there and they're associated, unless somebody unsubscribes, of course. So how do we add them? We go through and we can either check contacts individually, or if I'll uncheck these for a second, we can click the check all box, which is up there. So that selects everything on the screen. You can then change that by showing the number of contacts you've got on there, so you can select more at a time. Or you can do an actual search for terms. So if I do a search for accountant, so let's say I wanted to target those, in there it's identified the fact that I've got 3 separate people associated with the accountant here. They're all shown up as within the category field, but that will also search under company name, contact, etc. So I'll add all of those, and then you click this button here, which is Add Selected. And then if we go back to campaign lists, you'll see when we're in the campaign folder there's now 3. And if you note now that now we've added those contacts into there, a big blue button's appeared. And this brings us on to the next section, which is sending. So to send, all you need to do is to simply click this blue button here, which gives us the option to be able to choose which email we want to send. So if we click the big Select Email button here, this pops a little window up for us, which shows us previews of all the emails we've created. So you can see that's the one we've just created, so I'll select that. That then shows some options. Do we want to be able to send that email now, or do we want to schedule it for sending later? For the purposes of this, I'll schedule this for later. So let's select it's to go on the 16th at 2 AM, and I'll click the Schedule Later button. And it's that easy to schedule an email. So this will take us back to the campaign manager, and you can see our email is listed there and it's showing up as scheduled. Once it's sent, it will show up as receiving, and that's when you can start to see all your data appearing. So that's the campaign manager. So if we return back to the dashboard, which is here, you can now see the campaign we've just created is here, labelled as test. And if we want to, we can go into to view what we've just been doing, go back into the campaign manager, or we can just look at the stats associated with that campaign. So there's your quick one, and then all these are then listed in chronological order. The one thing that's quite nice is we can do a compare. So if we click here, this is based at campaign level. So let's select a couple of campaigns. So let's first select the group test and click view. So you can see there was 81 emails sent, and it gives details. All of these we can click into, and it'll give us a report on all those. And then let's do that a compare test against a trial campaign. So if you click view, they'll place that next to that. So you've got a really nice, simple comparison tool showing you exactly how everything's performing. And here you can see the prospects that have been generated. So really powerful tool. You can add up to 6 of these campaigns to compare at any one time. So the final thing I wanted to say was around support. Feel free to contact us or drop us a support ticket via this section here, or you can leave a comment. That can be anything from just a general question through to some ideas for how you think the system could be improved, or feel free to check back and look at the FAQs, as these are constantly updated from your support tickets that are coming in. And the final thing is, please don't be afraid to give us a call. I'll put our number up on screen. We're here to help you. So happy emailing, and thank you for taking the time to listen. This associates contacts with this campaign folder. So in here you can see all the contacts that I've got imported into the system, which will appear exactly the same if you've done the imports I've just shown you. So I want to select some people, so I can either select by going down, manually adding the ones I want, or I can do a search here. I can do a search for, let's call them, I want to do a search for some accountants. That's brought up 3. So I'm going to select target all 3 accountants in there, and that was picked out from the category field. So I'll add selected. Those disappear, and if you click back to campaign lists, you'll see